Good morning, friends. In our last lecture, we studied about tibotympanic variety of otitis media. Today, we will know something about chronic suppurative otitis media, eticoantral variety. Basically, this is a very large topic, but if you understand this topic, it will be very useful. Now, what is eticoantral variety of CSOM? First thing, though it is known as chronic, means long standing, in some cases like congenital cholesteatoma, patient presents very early and it is not a long standing, but it is a irreversible dangerous disease. So it is not always long standing pathology. It involves posterior part of middle ear cleft. What we see in eticoantral variety, we see cholesteatoma, osteitis and granulation tissue, ossicular necrosis, and cholesterol granuloma. Now, what is cholesteatoma? Middle ear cleft has different types of epithelium at different regions. Ciliated columnar in anterior and inferior part, cuboidal in middle part, and pavement-like in attic. But for simple understanding, cholesteatoma is skin in the wrong place. That is, presence of keratinizing squamous epithelium in middle ear cleft. It is also called epidermosis or keratoma. It consists of two parts. First is matrix. It is made up of keratinizing squamous epithelium resting on a thin stroma of fibrous tissue and central white mass consisting of keratin debris. Now, how cholesteatoma is harmful? It destroys bone by collagenase, acid phosphatase, and proteolytic enzymes liberated by osteoclasts and mononuclear inflammatory cells. There are many theories of genesis of cholesteatoma. First is presence of congenital cells rest. Secondly, Whitmack's theory, that is retraction pocket, in which due to negative pressure in middle ear, pars flaccida gets retracted and collection of keratin debris happen. Second is Rudi's theory, that is basal cell hyperplasia. Third is Haberman's theory, that is epithelial invasion through a pre-existing perforation, and Sayre's theory, that is metaplasia due to repeated infections. Cholesteatoma can be of three types. First is congenital cholesteatoma. It arises from the embryonic epidermal cells, rests in the middle ear cleft. It occurs in middle ear, petrous angle, and cerebellopontine angle. It presents as white mass behind timpani membrane with conductive hearing loss. Here is a picture of congenital cholesteatoma. You can see white mass behind the intact tympanic membrane. Other variety is primary acquired cholesteatoma. In this, there is no history of previous outage media or perforation, and either by retraction pocket or by basal cell hyperplasia or by metaplasia, primary acquired cholesteatoma is found. And second is secondary acquired cholesteatoma, in which there is already a pre-existing perforation, in which epithelium invades through a pre-existing perforation. That is Haberman's theory, and Sayre's theory is metaplasia due to repeated infections. What are the symptoms? First is ear discharge. It is scanty but foul smelling. Secondly, conductive hearing loss, and patient can have bleeding from ear due to granulations and polyps. If you examine the patient, you will find perforation either in the attic or postero-superior quadrant or marginal perforation. It happens also in retraction pocket, and cholesteatoma looks like pearly white flakes. This table shows difference between tubotympanic and etiquental disease. Discharge is profuse and mucoid in tubotympanic and scanty and purulent foul smelling in etiquental variety. Perforation is central in safe type. Attic perforation or marginal perforation. Marginal means perforation is near the margin of bony canal. So perforation is not covered all around by normal tympanic membrane. Granulations are uncommon in tubotympanic but common in etiquentral. Polyp is pale in safe type, red and flashy in etiquentral. Cholesteatoma is never present in tubotympanic type, but it is present in etiquentral type. Complications are rare with safe type, common in unsafe type. Audiogram will show mild to moderate conductive, and etiquentral will show conductive or mixed loss. What are the investigations? First is always examine under microscope and confirm your diagnosis. Simple tuning fork test and proton audiogram. Culture sensitivity of ear discharge and X-ray mastoid or CT scan of temporal bone to confirm your diagnosis and to rule out any intracranial complication. What are the features indicating complications? First is pain. It may indicate extradural, perisinus, or brain abscess. Whenever patient complains of vertigo in etiquental disease, it indicates erosion of lateral semicircular canal. Persistent headache also indicates intracranial complication. Facial weakness happens due to erosion of bony facial canal. Whenever a child refuses to take food and looks drowsy. He may have extradural abscess in case of etiquette disease. Patient may present with fever, nausea, vomiting, irritability, and neck rigidity suggest meningitis. Diplopia suggests Gradenigo syndrome, and ataxia indicates cerebellar abscess. तो क्या होची होंगी ना सर ત્યાં છે ઓકે ઓકે હવે નહીં sorry. Now what is the treatment? Surgical treatment, and its primary aim is to remove the disease. Now we can have two options, whether to keep the posterior bony canal intact or remove the canal. So according to the surgery, there are two types. First is canal wall up mastectomy, second is canal wall down mastectomy, in which let us see the difference. In up procedure, meatus is normal, and secondly, meatoplasty is done, so it is widely open. In canal wall up procedure, no routine cleaning is required, but whether if we have removed canal wall, then there is a collection of debris or wax, and it requires regular cleaning for mastoid cavity. Recurrence rate is high in canal wall up procedure because we cannot see mastoid cells in canal wall up procedure, but in canal wall down procedure, whole cavity is visualized, so recurrence is very low. Second look may require in canal wall up procedure, but not required in canal wall down procedure. Swimming is allowed in canal wall up, but in canal wall down procedure it may be restricted. Hearing aid is easy to wear in canal wall up because physiology is not much disturbed, but canal wall down procedure, if we advise hearing aid, it creates problem in fitting. In etiquette disease, according to disease, we have to reconstruct eardrum, we have to reconstruct ossicle. So if we reconstruct drum, it is called maryngoplasty, and maryngoplasty with ossicular chain reconstruction is known as tympanoplasty, and after that we can manage patient on conservative treatment. One more variety is tubercular otitis media. It is secondary to pulmonary tuberculosis. It is either through eustachian tube or bloodborne. Tubercles appear in submucosal layers of middle ear cleft. You may see multiple perforations in tympanic membrane. Pale granulations may be seen, and mastoiditis, facial paralysis, post fistula are common in children. Thank you so much.